actually, let's reset that. Let's reset that. Hold up. Reset. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Eric where he's playing a lot of video games online. So, we are not playing Minecraft today, we are playing Pokemon Showdown Beta, and I have an interesting battle that I want to show you all. With me today I have my brother, his name is William. William, say hello to everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get started. Now the team that we have for this battle that you guys are about to see is a Heracross, and I'm about to tell you all of their stuff they have, like moves, items, abilities, and stats, so that if you're ever interested, you can make it too. So, okay, a lot of these Pokemon have a lot of moves that I found on Smoogog. Is that what it's called?
Smogon.
Yeah, so Guts. Oh, okay, that would have probably helped during the battle. But, okay, so, Willie, want to tell them about Heracross?
Yeah, Heracross is a physical basic user, so its main purpose is just to go all out. Its ability Guts combined with being poisoned and with the Toxic Orb gives it a major boost in its attack stat, which can basically kill anything.
Which will be a helpful thing when you see the video. Along with my other physical users would be Weavile, and I think those are the only two physical ones I have, right? The rest are
Special.
Special, okay.
And then utility.
Okay, so here we go. Weavile, it also has a Life Orb, which I think is better than what I had before. What was it that I had before?
I think you had a choice band on it?
Probably, I don't remember, but I think that was the one that had the choice band. And right here we have Night Slash, Break Break, Ice Shard, and Ice Crash. Ice Shard for Weavile is a priority move if I am correct, right?
Yes.
And Pressure allows the Pokemon to target the foe's move, blah 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 blah. I really don't know what that means, but let's go back to Heracross and we can show its stats. We basically put attack up all the way and speed all the way and SBK. And tell everyone why he should be a Jolly Nature, William.
Well, typically Heracross isn't very fast in most metagames, so when people use Heracross mainly for is just to outspeed their opponent if they can, because that base 85 speed can be outsped by just about anything in any metagame at this point.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's look at Weavile. Alright, so we also added an attack boost of full 252 EVs and speed 252 EVs, and it's also a Jolly Nature, so that means we must also be wanting to outspeed them, correct?
That's true, and Weavile is actually one of the fastest Pokemon in the borderline tier and the OU tier because of that.
Perfect, and with his Ice Shard move, he makes for a strong competitor because that is priority. I think it's also faster than Aqua Jet if it's against that.
Yes, but it varies on certain occasions.
Alright, so that's our physicals. Let's go back to our special and, what's it called?
Utility.
Utility is Forretress?
Yes.
So let's go with our utility. Forretress was my choice. I ended up picking a Stealth Rock and Toxic Spike so that we can set up, like, you know, those things for when Pokemon switch, which is really good when it comes to, like, Pokemon that like to use Baton Pass, I think?
Baton Pass.
Baton Pass. And I also put on a Rapid Spin because that's good in case anyone wants to put Stealth Rock or Spikes on my Pokemon. So I thought that was great too. So to top it all off, I put an Explosion because sometimes when, you know, when all else fails, you just gotta get rid of him and he becomes...
All caps rage.
All caps rage. And he has, let's see, Leftovers, which gives him a little bit of points after his turn, and then Sturdy, so that if he ends up dying, he stays with 1 point, I think, and he gets to do the next move.
Yes, because what a lot of people do with Forretress when they're faced with him, they usually just go for a fire attack move, which gives it a ×4 weakness to Forretress. But the cool thing about it is, with Sturdy, it helps it live just that one turn, so you could either do an explosion or just do another setup move just before it dies.
Alrighty, well, let's look at the EVs here. We gave it an attack boost of 252 on the attack and an attack boost of 252 on the defense, and HP up by 4, and Lax. I've never actually used this nature. Can you explain a little, Willie? If you can, it would be nice of you to do that.
Well, Lax Nature, what it does is it maxes out its Fortress's defense, which is its main, like, shield, and decreases its special defense.
Ah, perfect.
Because his special defense isn't very good, and because everybody's just going to use Fire Blast, it just makes more sense to put all that utility in defense.
Well, that sounds very good, William. I have like a 50% about what you just said. But let's go on. Okay, let's see. Who do you want to go on to? Ninetales?
Yeah.
Alright, Ninetales is also another one to pick in mind. I put Hypnosis on it. I think I used to have another move offered by Smoog. What is it?
Smogon.
Smogon, I think it was.
I don't know, but a lot of Smogon has a lot of good advice if you're just starting out. But if you've played a lot of competitive, like I have for at least like 2 or 3 years, you start to go away from Smogon. You use it as a base, but then you find more moves that you can use onto it, and you can start adding on it. So like for my brother, I think he had Substitute on it from what Smogon told him, and I told him that he should just replace it with a few other moves.
Alright, so I think I added Hypnosis, and I think I added a Solar Beam, because I didn't have that before, but I did have Drought, which gives it the ability to have Sunny Day, and as people know, when Sunny Day is out, Solar Beam becomes a 1-move hit, which is usually a 2-move. It's like the reverse of Hyper Beam. That's what I like to think of. And also, Wild Lens is accurate of the attack of the holder is 1.1. Which, I don't know, that was from Smogon. That's all Smogon there.
That's actually a really good, because Hypnosis only has a 60% chance. Watch, go to Hypnosis. Hypnosis actually only has an accuracy of 60%, so actually giving it that wide lens almost guarantees that you hypnotize your Pokemon into sleeping.
That's actually really good. So if you ever have a wide lens, probably give it to a Ninetales who has Drought, and you'll have no problem beating anyone.
And plus, with Fire Blast, it's the strong... I think it's the strong... No. It's one of the strongest special attacking fire moves that you can have on it, but it also only has 85% accuracy.
Yeah.
So that wide lens actually does help it a lot.
Yeah, so you'll see in the clip how Ninetales is a really big help. So let's go back onto the EVs. We gave it 184 and 202 in the HP and speed, and then 104 in the special defense. All of that is from Smogon. But yeah, Timid Nature, I don't know why I gave it that. That was also on Smogon. Do you have any idea why that would be that?
For Ninetales, he's really fast, but he can also be really bulky at the same time. Like, I've seen different variations of Ninetales, where he's just a complete wall, but also he has that speed, so he can be really fast as well, so he can outspeed a lot of things, too, in this metagame.
Alright, speaking of a Timid Nature, we also have another Timid Nature here, this Gengar, which I named Ass because he was a badass, and I couldn't put badass because that was too long. But let's see, we have Sludge Bomb, Destiny Bomb, Shadow Ball, and Dazzling Gleam. Now this was one of William's picks, and I'm going to let him explain all of that to you because that's all him. I'm going to let you do that. So Willie, take it on away.
Well, for Dazzling Gleam, with the new introduction of new fairy types in the 6th generation, fairy types was a great counter to a lot of dragon type moves. And with Dazzling Gleam onto Gengar, he can actually be a really good dragon killer. And a lot of Gengar's other weaknesses include Dark, which is also a very commonly used attack. And Dazzling Gleam actually does a lot of damage to Dark, actually ×2 weakness, which can help a lot for Gengar, which it had to rely on Focus Blast in previous generations just to get rid of Dark type Pokemon. For other moves, Shadow Ball, Shadow Ball just for the stab, and it's like Gengar's signature move.
Right.
Sludge Bomb, just for another stab move, because it's also very strong. And then this was an interesting one that I had for a lot of competitive stuff. Destiny Bomb, which is really good if you find a Pokemon on your opponent's team that you know you can't kill. But if you're faster, then you can actually use Destiny Bomb, and it actually kills both you and your opponent's Pokemon.
I kind of like this because it's also kind of like the Forretress Explosion, except it's a little craftier and ghostier.
Suicide killer.
Yeah. So let's see. The final one we have to see is Espeon, and let's see. This one I've had in many of my other teams before. I've changed it a little from. I used to have Reflect and Light Shield, I think is what it's called.
Light Screen.
Light Screen, but I've changed that. I've added now a Shadow Ball. Thanks to Willie's advice, and I've added some Signal Beam due to the advice of Smogad.
Smogon. I would have actually put in Dazzling Gleam if it's possible.
Can we do that?
Actually, can we check that right now?
Signal Beam, let's see, Dazzling. Oh,
see, that would have helped a lot.
Alright, so we'll keep that for next time. I also gave it Leftovers because I had a Light Orb, or a Life Orb, I think, and you told me that that wasn't good for it.
You had Light Clay on it, which is, if it set up screens, it would last a lot longer.
Oh, that's why I had that, because I had the old 2, and that would keep the light screen longer.
So, that hindered a lot of it. It could actually done a lot more damage if you had given it a better item.
Okay. Well, I like its ability. I think this is a really good ability. The Pokemon blocks certain stat moves users move themselves. You didn't get to see that in this clip, but Magic Balance basically gives you, if they try to attack you with Toxin, then he will like to attack you and go back and put the Toxic on the other Pokemon. But yeah, that's a very good ability. It's only with 2 other Pokemon. I think it's Natu and Xatu, so that's a really good ability for if you want a Pokemon. So let's look at the stats now. I gave its HP all the way up to max. I also gave its speed all the way up to max, and its defenses I added the extra, but this is all Smog add. So it's also Timid Nature I see, and I did not see that before, so I guess we have 3 Timid Natures, so that must be where it's at.
I would have actually put more investment from HP into special attack, just because it's could easily have killed more things if you had more investment in special attack. But I can see why Smogon would have said something like this.
So you would suggest putting the attack...
Or you could take out some of it and put it into special attack, just because it'll just give it more of that presence of just being able to kill more things faster.
I see. Well, we'll change that for next time then, William, but let's get on to the clip. So here we go, guys. So let's see. The team that he has is Darkrai, Arceus Normal, Reshiram, Zekrom, Latios, and Xerneas, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we know our team, Heracross, Ninetales, Forretress, Gengar,
Espeon, and
Weavile. Okay, so... yeah, so this is basically a team. As you can see, it's definitely an Uber's team. Mine is definitely not. So any words before we start, William?
Let's take it away.
Alright, let's start it. So we start off, as always, with the Forretress, and it's doing its priority moves. Darkrai immediately leaves, and Reshiram comes in. That's okay, I put in Stealth Rock. And then, all of a sudden, Forretress dies, and he does not have the chance to Sturdy, so... I don't know why that happened. William, can you explain why that happened?
Because of Reshiram's ability, he was able to neutralize Fortress's ability to stay in for that 1 extra turn.
So that basically sucked. So then now he's up against my Espeon. My Espeon actually stayed for a good 2 minutes, bringing Reshiram less than 50% life. So then you would think that I would be able to do it with Shadow Ball and the Gengar, but unfortunately his Outrage does take out my Gengar right away, which is a really hurtful thing to my group.
Fortunately for Eric, this is where he starts making his comeback. Bringing in that Heracross, he was able to weaken that Darkrai just enough so where he could just close combat and kill it in the following turn, as you see.
Yeah, so basically he does Dark Void, but that doesn't work because I already have a status move, and that's actually really funny because Darkrai and Heracross were actually fighting in the actual animated series, am I correct?
This is true, yes. And then this is where he brings in his Arceus Normal, which is actually really interesting because I've never seen it, or it's not very common from what I hear to just have a normal Arceus because it's so weak to those fighting type moves, which is what Heracross specializes in.
Yeah, so then I was able to take his Arceus down to 7% level, and then that was able for the Ninetales to sweep it up. So that was very good, and then all of a sudden comes a Latios. So now it's just a 2-on-4 battle here. And it's not in my favor, but that sleep move with the Hypnosis really worked, and I think it's all thanks to that item he was holding.
Yep. The White Lens?
Yeah, and the White Lens. So then now we got a Weavile versus Zekrom, which is in my favor, of course, because as you know, Zekrom is an Ice type, and...
actually, he's a Dragon type, so he takes weakness.
Right, reverse. So let's see. Reshiram is destroyed by that Stealth Rock, as you can see, so that Forretress did come in handy, William.
Forretress taking the win.
Yep, Forretress actually takes, I think, 2 Pokemon down with them, so now it's Xerneas and Weavile, and then Weavile takes him to half-life again.
Unfortunately, he doesn't survive the Moonblast, being that ×2 weakness to fairies, but oh well.
And so now all we got left is a 1-on-3 battle here with my Ninetales, and Ninetales is pretty good.
He is pretty good. He sets up the Geomancy hoping he'll survive an extra attack and make them to a 1-hit KO. Unfortunately, he dies before that happens, and he brings it back as Latios, which is still asleep.
Yeah, that actually did surprise me. He was asleep. I was not expecting that. I was expecting to lose right off the bat. You know what, like, 2 against 1, he has an Uber's team, I don't. This is going to be dumb, but then Sleep comes in again, and, you know, that item is really handy. If you ever have that item, please use that item. And then Forretress takes another Stealth Rock for the win.
Forretress for the win.
Forretress for the win. And now it's finally here. Stealth Rock is actually very useful.
Kicks in.
And then Here we go. Resist it, so you think it's over. So basically, a one move from Latios is over.
He sets up Light Scream hoping to stall a bit, but unfortunately, that stalling doesn't work out very well because you eventually have to wear and tear out, especially in this next attack right here.
Yeah, this is where the best part comes in. I get a critical hit.
He gets a critical hit.
And super lucky.
Super lucky.
And one for the win. And then as you can see in the chat, I'm like, oh my god, GGG explosion.
This is where I actually flip out because I'm thinking, wow, he's going to die once he attacks. But no, he gets that critical hit, which is just a hair puller.
Oh my god. That must be... This guy, Bobo Boy 1X must be so mad. And then, yeah, that was really funny. That was actually really exciting. So, yeah. I basically think the Pokemon that really helped out here was Forretress.
Yeah, gotta hand it to Forretress, especially that Heracross, though. He took out and that Weavile. He took out a lot of those Dragon-type Pokemon in his team.
Yeah, and Weavile was one of mine, and Heracross was one of yours.
I was kind of disappointed in how the Gengar performed, just because I didn't kill Reshiram in that one attack.
Yeah, I was also a little disappointed too, but we can always do that for next time. But, alright, thank you guys so much. Thank you much, Willie, for coming here and commentating with me.
As always.
And then I guess I'll see you guys. I plan on doing more Pokemon Showdown videos. If you have an internet connection and an internet, I suggest you go ahead and make your own Showdown account, play your own Pokemon. This is if you don't have the game like me. But yeah, it's really fun. I will see you guys next time. Maybe I'll battle William.
Maybe.
And win.
Don't think so.
Alright. Any last words, William, before I end this?
Oh yeah, tell us in the comments below if you guys like these kinds of videos.
Yeah.
If you like me being on the show. If you guys don't, it's fine.
Thank you very much.
I'm just a voice here, guys. I'm just a voice.
Thank you so much for that, William. Yeah, definitely leave a comment, leave a like, share this, anything, share it, do everything you want. Actually, yeah, all that. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.